So only one place to start, really. St Andrews last year. As someone who's achieved so much in the game, where does that rank, and how do you reflect on it now?
I mean, very high in the sense of, that stretch that I had in Europe was probably some of the best golf that I've played, in within a month. And it was my second time at St. Andrews, so it was like I realized the things that I had missed out the first time I was there. And when I played there as a 16-year-old, I don't think I truly got to enjoy just being at St. Andrews. But last year I was able to just appreciate, the history and everything. About the home of golf. So yeah, to now say that I'm a past champion at St. Andrews is very special because it's a very small group of players that have won there, and it's uh it's definitely something that I'm very proud of.
And how do you reflect on this season and how you're trending going into your defense of your title?
Yeah, I started the season off well. The last couple of weeks haven't been good, result wise, but I feel like, I'm not far off. And a tournament like this is, you need to be really on in, all of the elements out here. But at the same time, I think because it is difficult, you can be a bit more creative than maybe just a standard golf course. So I'm excited. This is a very new type of links golf course for me, and yeah, I'm excited to just go out there. But I think it's going to be very difficult, and in ways I like that because I feel like those are the challenges that you face at the Women's Open compared to other events. So yeah, it's going to be great, and hopefully I can have a good run at defending.
Yeah, and kind of reflecting more kind of broadly on your career, it'd take too long to list all the records you broke when you were younger, and obviously being in the Hall of Fame and being a dame, age 28 is just incredible. How do you look back on those early years now, compared to kind of how you approach these tournaments today?
Yeah, I think all my life I really grew up playing golf, and golf was really the center of, where my time was spent and everything. So, now I feel like, because time has passed enough that and I have a bit more experience that I get to appreciate these tournaments a lot more, appreciate how hard it is to play well week in, week out. And I'm just honestly having a lot more fun out there. Even when things don't necessarily go my way. I think I've been able to just almost like try things out on the golf course because I know that, like just because I play well this week or don't play well this week, it doesn't really reflect on my whole career. So in ways it's been great because I've been more up to the challenge and having more of an open mindset on how I go about these golf courses, and it has really helped me to grow and learn more about my game.
Yeah, and of course, a lot of talk about kind of motivation in golf after what Scotty Scheffler said at the Open earlier this month. And you've spoken very publicly about how golf isn't everything. How has your perspective on kind of golf and life changed, and where do you stand with all of that now?
Yeah, I mean, I think Scotty Scheffler is an unbelievable athlete and incredible golfer, but it just seems like he's a great person and he's really down to earth, and has a great perspective on, him. Yes, he, as a competitor, he wants to be the best golfer he can be. And I mean, he's showing that right now. But he would rather be a good father or a good husband, and I think that just shows what kind of person he is. And for me, meeting my husband was a switch for me where I realized there was much to life than just golf. My family has always been really invested in golf as well, so I think golf has been very the center of everything, in our lives. But meeting my husband, he's given me a new perspective and know that there is a lot more out there. And as difficult as it may seem, the what score I shoot on the golf course, that doesn't, reflect who I am as a person. So I think he has, made me, realize that. And I still, to this day, I'm still learning that and trying to embrace that more. But I think he was really the big key for me.
I suppose that feeds into just having more fun on the golf course. And when you've spoken before about planning to retire before you turn 30, has this new kind of fun approach changed that at all, or is that very much still in your mind?
I honestly don't know, when my last event is gonna be. Obviously, I do, have more of the freedom of what tournaments I want to play versus not to compare to when I was a rookie, 12 years ago. But I think even if I wasn't a Hall of Famer, like that's still just like over time you just realize and understand your body a little bit more. So it's I think it just comes with time outside of just, my career as a whole. But no, I said I've always wanted to leave the game while I still love it or still enjoy it. Because I don't want to stop playing because I just purely don't like it anymore. And this golf has given me a lot in my life and made me experience so many different things that I probably wouldn't have if I wasn't a golfer. So I don't want to step away because, I don't even want to see my golf clubs anymore. So I I think the ambition is that I want to retire when I'm still playing well and I still have the passion for the game. And I'm not really sure exactly when that time is going to be, but it was obviously it's closer rather than, the start, compared to the start of my career.
Yeah, and I suppose that you don't have one last thing that you'd want to achieve, maybe the career Grand Slam. I know, obviously Rory did it in April. Did that kind of inspire you to push harder for that, or is it still whether or not you get that done, you're still kind of sticking to your plan?
Yeah, I think always having the goal while I'm still playing is really important, whether I achieve it or not. Sometimes it's not really up to me. But yeah, watching, Rory do the Grand Slam at the Masters and see the emotions and kind of trying to understand what he may have felt, for the past few years. It is pretty crazy, and it honestly brought tears to my eyes, and that was an inspiration. So that is one of my goals. But you know, if I win, defend this championship this week, that's four majors, but I'm not doing the Grand Slam. So winning each and every major, like if everyone's different major is hard. Winning five majors is hard. So it's like whether that happens or not, that's not going to be the dictator on like whether I retire or not. But that is definitely the goal, and I think it's always good to have a goal, to work towards something, and just so that no, I still have motivation while I'm practicing too.
Yeah, and even though you haven't put a timeline on it, have you thought at all what retirement from golf would look like for you? How you'd spend your time?
Definitely less traveling.
Yeah.
As much as I love coming here and going to new courses and new towns and getting to experience different cultures and have different food, like those are probably some of the coolest part of my job. But at the same time, by the end of the year, I don't really want to be on another plane. So yeah, I think being a little bit more settled at one place and spending time with family and spending more time with my husband as well, because I feel like we're still dating in the sense of I still, I'm playing and he has a full-time job. So, this week is the first time he's come out and watched me play this year. And we're already in like July, August. So yeah, I think in ways I would like to experience what it's like just being at home. And he might tell me to go out a little bit if he sees me too much. But I think sometimes if you don't experience what's normal to you, you kind of want to experience something else. So I think that would be some of the things that I would look forward to then.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he's a good luck charm for you this week. Wishing you the best of luck. Thanks so much for your time, Lydia.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sean.